middle of trying to get my drainage system, I guess you could call it, working here in my greenhouse. And what I've got going here is, you might see this black pipe going here. That's what that is. That's going to be the supply system to my grow beds. Well, if you have a supply to the grow beds to have a flow system of one kind or another, you've got to have a drainage system. So you see the white pipe down here. I'm installing the drainage system. The idea I have got here is, as these grow beds get filled up and overflow in a controlled fashion, of course, but as these grow beds fill up and overflow, they've got to drain into something. And the drain is going to be this pipe. And then what happens is that pipe goes around, as you can see over there. Let me just pick up the camera here and take you for a walk. So anyway, what we're going to do is put drains on all these grow beds. It's going to drain into that pipe, and that pipe will slope down that direction. As you can see, the elbow joint that's in there. Then we're going to put another pipe across there, and the pipe that goes across here will also have a downgrade to it, and then it will empty into this pond. Now, at the same time, what we're going to do is pump out of the pond, and we'll pump out and go into this hose here. And this hose, of course, is the one that's running around the peripheral up there. So that's what we're working on today, and the specific thing I'm working on today is getting that drainage pipe in, because I want to get this water flowing before I worry too much about getting the grow beds all finished. All I'm going to do right now is these little drain ports right here, this one and this one. I'm just going to plug those up for the moment. And this one here is going to drain into the main drain right here. Then we're going to get this going and see if it works. And then once it works, that'll clear up the pond and, you know, make it look a lot nicer. Then we can start working on putting the fill and drain systems into these things. Now this is plumbing strapping metal. I don't know what they call it, but I think that's what it's commonly called, plumbing strap. But what I'm doing is putting a board onto the grow bed, or the grow bed supports, and then using that plumbing strap to wrap up and hold this pipe. Now this pipe isn't going to be very heavy, so it should hold just fine. See, there's another one before we put the strap on it. And of course there's several more. And the whole idea, of course, is this end has to be a little bit higher than that end so that the water will flow that direction and out. Lift this up. Okay, got that one. Now we got to put one in the middle and see if we've got a slope to it. It looks like that middle part can be picked up a little bit, but the surest way to see if we've got a slope to it, which is the most important thing to consider right now, pour a little water in it and see if the water goes downhill. So let's get a little water here. Interesting growth down there. Here we go. Which way does it go? Oh my, look, it's going down. It's going down. And it seems to be kind of hung up here. So you know what I think? I think maybe this middle needs to be lifted up a little more. Anyway, I'll adjust this until it does flow downhill, and then we'll get back and see if we got a slope to it, and then we'll start hooking it up, see if we can get it to go. Well, as you can see, I've got my water flowing. As you can see, pretty crude, but it's flowing. And that's the whole point of this. Is first step is to get it working, and then the second step is to make it look nice. But anyway, let me show you a little bit about how I've done this. I'll grab the camera and take you with me. Okay. Now, one of the things I had to do was I had to buy a better pump. Now, you can see it down there under the water. And the reason it's not all the way down in the bottom is because if something goes wrong, I don't want that pump to have the ability to pump that pond dry, because I'm going to have fish in there pretty soon. So if a pipe should burst or something like that, which it shouldn't, but supposing it does, you know, you don't want to kill the fish because the water just all ran out everywhere. Now, what I've got here is, as you can see, the water is being pumped out here. And by the way, that's I think it's a 4,200 gallon per hour pump, and it pumps about 10 pounds. The way it's advertised, it says it's 23 foot of head, but you know, that's roughly 10, 15 pounds, something like that. Anyway, so that's the kind of pump it is. So it's got a lot of volume, and here it goes. It comes out here, and it has some fittings that go along the outside. And as you can see, the fitting comes up here. See that black pipe, and then up there, right there, and then it connects on to the white pipe. Now, the white pipe comes around here, and what this is going to do, this is going to be what's going to fill my grow beds. You can see the white pipe comes up here, and right now I've just got some standpipes up here that are tall enough so that the water doesn't leak out. But as you can see, it goes all the way down, and then over here is where the effluent comes out, the excess. And as you can see, there's water coming in there, and there's quite a bit. Now, the reason I've got it this way, you can see this pipe going up, going nowhere. What I'm going to do is maintain the pressure in this pipe simply by these standpipes here, and by how tall this is when it finally discharges out. In other words, I'm going to have enough water pressure in here to just, you know, make sure that we have some flow here, and then maintain the pressure in this pipe as the head pressure that we get due to how tall this pipe is. But that's going to take some adjusting, and I've got to get to that, but we're not there yet. But anyway, so there it is, and I guess at this point all I want to show you is it's working, it's draining, and we're going to start fixing things up. Now, the first thing to fix up is this right here. As you can see, you might have seen me use this this grow bed before, and the old plastic just sprung too many leaks, so I threw it out, and I've got some new plastic. But this plastic here is over 10 years old, more than that, and it's not leaking at all. So what I'm going to do now, next step, is I've got to provide some drains for all of these grow beds so that they overflow into the drainage system. So I'm going to drill some holes in there, and you can see this one here without the plastic in the way. I've got to drill a drain right here so that when the water gets up to about here, it'll drain out and go into the drainage system. Now, when we talk about what can you use to make that overflow port from the grow beds, there is something you can buy, and it's just off the shelf, and it's called a bulkhead adapter or a bulkhead fitting. Now, farmers use those a lot to drill a hole in a stock tank, and maybe they want to have a pipe connected to it that's below the water line or something so they can drain it out or whatever. But anyway, that's where you usually find those in farm stores and things like that. But they're like 15 bucks a piece. And as you can see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up past 7 or 8 of these, and I'm not going to spend 15 bucks a piece. So I'm going to make one. And what it's basically going to be, and I've done this before, is you see I've got these plastic washers. I'll show you what that is. Now, I have made those out of old pieces of plexiglass, plastic. I think it's Lexan. It's left over from the old greenhouse. And what you do is you compress the plastic that you have, you know, the greenhouse plastic that's lining the grow beds. You compress it between these two. And then what you do is you, actually, and then you compress it, and then you fill this full of RTV or some kind of glue. And then what you do is drill a hole through the grow bed so that it fits this. And then what you do is on the inside, and you got to use a little imagination here. Imagine the wood is right here, you know, the wood from the grow bed. So you basically drill a hole through the wood, and then it goes through like this. And on the inside, the plastic is between these two with a lot of glue in it. And then what you do is you tighten this down until you get compression because of the, you know, the width of the wood and the washers and other things that you put on this. And what this does for you is on the inside you have 3/4 inch threads so that you can put a pipe in there and maybe have it go down so that it won't drain any further than a certain amount, or you can maybe make a bell siphon if you want to. And then the other side has got, you know, threads as well, so you can hook something on there and funnel that right down to the drainage system. Anyway, we're going to make these, and I'll show you how to do this in a minute, but that's how we're going to do it. So, the drainage system is working, the pond is working, and we're getting closer and closer to where we can plant something out here. And then I've got to clean all this crap up and make it look nice and get my vines going and everything. So anyway, show you how to do this in a minute.